Welcome along to Goal Time, where we're looking ahead to Saturday's Premier League action as Southampton take on Aston Villa and it's Liverpool against Crystal Palace. Welcome along then to Saturday's look at the Goal Time games available for you here. Of course, Goal Time gives you the chance to win your share of £100,000 from a £1 bet with our 4-goal option. Of course, 4 options in total to have a go at if you fancy the 1, 2, 3 and 4 goal jackpots. All worth having a go at. Your 1-goal jackpot gives you the chance to play right throughout the 90 minutes, so always good to stay involved with the game right up until the death. The first game we're looking at is Southampton against Aston Villa. Saints' European dreams are all but over, but Villa, Warren, still got plenty to play for.
Yeah, you look at the league positions and you might be a bit surprised to see that probably Villa are the team to beat here, but certainly on form it looks towards the visitors as the team who are likely to come out on top, because they really are in a good run of form under Tim Sherwood. They've lost just like 1 of their last 6 matches, and in fact they've scored 11 goals during that time as well. And although they were barren earlier in the season under Paul Lambert, Sherwood really has turned them around. Christian Benteke now is back amongst the goals, proving that he is one of the best strikers in the Premier League. Tom Cleverley's also been amongst the goals somewhat surprisingly of late, but it just shows you how Villa have been pushing forward from midfield and getting up in support of Benteke. In contrast, Southampton really struggling. They're in a rut. They've not won any of their last 4 games. And although the form at St Mary's has still held up pretty well after a great season to date, they are unbeaten in the last 4 matches at home. They are struggling to find the back of the net, and they're being caught all the time in the battle for 7th by Swansea. And it looks on the face of things as though Villa may be the team to beat here.
Yeah, certainly the stats suggest that, don't they? In terms of goals, as you say, Tim Sherwood has made Aston Villa regular scorers now. They've netted in their last 7 matches consecutively. So all of a sudden those Goal Time woes for those involving Aston Villa have gone. Villa are the team to bet on, it would seem, with Goal Time. In terms of when the goals come for Villa, the majority still come in the first half of games. 70% of their goals coming in the first 45 minutes. As I said, the goals have become a bit more spread out under Sherwood, but still their best time period is from the 31st to the 45th minute. That will be Goal Time sections 14 to 20 on Saturday. They've netted 26.7% of their goals in that time, so that is probably when you think they'll strike in this one. As for Southampton, well, despite their poor run of form recently, they've still managed to hit the back of the net twice in each of their last 3 home games. Southampton's goals tend to come in the final 15 minutes of matches. They are a second half side, Southampton, when it comes to scoring goals. 27.1% of their goals have come in those final 15 minutes. And with Villa having conceded the majority of their goals in that time period, I'd probably look for Saints to score between sections 33 to 39 on Saturday. They're also not bad between the 61st and 75th minute. They've netted 9 times in that period. That's Goal Time sections 27 to 31. Well, the next game we're looking at here on Goal Time takes place at Anfield. 5:30 kickoff for Liverpool against Crystal Palace. Not much to play for really for either side. Liverpool can no longer make the top 4, whilst Crystal Palace have been safe from relegation for some time. But it will be a special day for one member of the Liverpool team.
It will indeed, Chris, because it's Steven Gerrard's final home game at Anfield. He's been amongst the goals of late. He's scored in his last 2 against Queen's Park Rangers and at the weekend against Chelsea as well. And you wouldn't bet against him getting on the score sheet here again. He'll want to finish in front of his home following on a high, as will Liverpool, who are out for revenge after a 3-1 defeat at the hands of Palace in the league earlier in the season. That was a woeful display that day at Selhurst Park. Liverpool have improved since then. Certainly not been scoring that many goals of late, but I feel there'll be goals in this game this time round. If you look through the annals of history, by the way, 9-0 this finished in favour of Liverpool this game back in 1989. Not sure there'll be that many this time, but there's likely to be goals. Also as well, Palace found themselves in a real rut. They've not won any of their last 4. In fact, they've lost their last 4 games in a row now. And Pardew's men, as Chris said, have been safe from relegation for a while. Nothing really to get themselves up for in games. And they've scored just 1 goal in that time as well. And everything seems to point to a successful final home game for Liverpool and for Steven Gerrard.
Yeah, as you say, history suggests there should be goals in this game. In fact, in the last 5 meetings, we've had at least 3 goals between these two sides. So this could be a great one for your 3-goal jackpot, or maybe even your 4-goal jackpot if you're looking for that share of £100,000. Couple that with the fact that Crystal Palace have conceded at least 1 goal in each of their last 12 games, and we should be looking at least a few goals at Anfield, even with there being little to play for. In terms of when the goals might come for Liverpool, the stats suggest they are a second-half team. 60% of their goals coming after half-time. The Reds have scored the majority of their goals in the last 15 minutes this season, 26% coming in those closing stages. And if you fancy them to score again, that's goal time section 33 to 39 on Saturday. As for Palace, well, they ended a run of 3 games without a goal against Manchester United in that defeat last time out. Like Liverpool, they're also a second-half team. 57% of their goals have come after the interval. Their best time period is just after half-time. A massive 37.6% of their goals have come in the 15 minutes after the break. That's goal time sections 22 to 26. That may well be worth looking at if you fancy Palace to score. The stats suggest that Palace tend to start and end matches poorly, as they've conceded a lot of goals in the final 15 minutes of games, but their second worst time period is the start of the game. So if you fancy Liverpool to strike early, that may well be worth looking at as well. That would be goal time sections 1 to 5 on Saturday. That's your lot then for Saturday, as we have previewed both of those games. Now have a look on goal time for your chance to win a share of £100,000.